How's it going, Jets fans? With your boys here, Alex and Ryan, looking ahead to the Jets versus the Buffalo Bills this week, and actually will be at that game. Pretty fun stuff. The Bills are a tough team, but they have a lot of injuries that Ryan is going to tell you guys about in a second here. This is a game the Jets can win, right? Like, this really ultimately boils down to how many points can the offense produce. The Jets secondary, as we mentioned yesterday, is stout. They're extremely talented. Can they lock down Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox? They have a really, really good group of receivers over there. And then you look at their running game with, obviously Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, and James Cook, who's really taken on a bigger role here as the weeks have gone by. This Buffalo offense is stellar. That's the blatant reality of the situation. The Jets defense, however, is stellar. So it's a matchup that the Jets are actually looking forward to. And I think that they could emerge victorious simply because that Buffalo defense is completely slaughtered by injury right now. This is an opportunity for the Jets offense to kind of step up and showcase that they can beat kind of wear down defenses. And ultimately it comes down to Zach Wilson, as it does every single week. This is going to be the ongoing narrative and conversation we have every single game is, did Zach Wilson live up to the potential? Did he have a good day? Did he have a bad day? Did he start great? Did he finish bad like he did last week with the 3 interceptions or 2 in the second half? This is definitely a game where the Jets can win this one. I think that the only person that's going to stop them is Zach Wilson at the end of the day. But Ryan, tell me about the injuries on the Buffalo side of the football and how the Jets could have some leverage in this contest.
Definitely, Alex. I mean, the Bills are really banged up at the moment. And if there's any reason why the Jets, do have a chance, I think it's, got a lot to do with that. And I think you look at things from the Bills' perspective, like the Jets are a much improved team, and the Bills have spoken on that this week. But, it is probably going to be one of their toughest games. You look at the fact that they're on the road, the Jets are, a physical team, on both sides of the ball. And I think you said it. I mean, the Jets defense can really rise up in this game. And, it's tough to really slow down Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, all those playmakers they have. But look, if there's any unit that can do it, like we talked about with Sauce and DJ yesterday, being as good as any corner, outside corner duo in football right now, the Jets can do it, obviously, with their front as well. The front four being able to get home, consistently creating pressure like they have. They do have the talent and, overall across the board, the unit that can be one of the defenses to maybe slow down this Bills offense. And obviously that's a tall task even for this Jets defense. And then you flip it around. I mean, obviously the Jets offense, turned the ball over last week, but you look at the Bills defense. I mean, obviously they're without Micah Hyde for the year. Jordan Poyer's ruled out for this game. There's been nothing definitive on Tre'Davious White's status yet. Tremaine Edmonds was a limited participant yesterday, and no Von Miller or Matt Milano yesterday in practice at all. So, their second and third level defensively is about as banged up as it gets. You're really the only like proven commodity you're looking at really is Taron Johnson, in the secondary. So, this Jets offense will have a chance to, I think it's important to be balanced, really find ways to get the ground game going and really just stick with it as much as anything. I think you look at the Jets' 5 wins and compare it to their 3 losses, they were much more balanced in the games that they won, and the runs pass ratio was ideally where you would like it to be. We've seen, even in a bad game like Zach had last week, there are still those moments where you just see, the big play threat ability he has, what he can do. And I think, with all these injuries they have, I mean, you really couldn't, ask for a better opportunity, against a proven, elite opponent like the Bills to establish, yourself and put together a good game. We're going to find out a lot, obviously, with it being his first loss of the year that he's coming off of, really how he's going to respond. And, there is a chance. I mean, it's going to be tough without Corey Davis. But once again, you heard Robert Saleh this morning continue to say great things about Denzel Mims and that his role within this offense will really continue to, be prevalent week to week. And we're going to see him, obviously, with, his size and what he can do in place of Corey. And, just continue to really get Garrett and Tyler Conklin involved like last week. And, I think this, from the Jets perspective, they're getting pretty disrespected, I think, and being at home in this game, I think it's probably one of, like I said, you look at it from the Bills perspective, it's probably going to be one of the tougher games they have. I think the Jets have got to use that, to their advantage and go out there and play like they have nothing to lose.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Jets have everything to gain. So that's kind of the reality of the situation. They could make the playoffs this year if they keep winning games, especially AFC East. They're right behind the Bills right now. But I will tell you what, the Bills defense this year has been absolutely fantastic. And that is, testament to their depth as well. Just because they're down a couple guys does not mean they're going to be an easy team to run over. They're not a bad team whatsoever. They have they have let's see here, 14 total takeaways. They have 11 interceptions this year and 3 fumbles forced and recovered. On the defensive side, they're allowing the 4th fewest rushing yards in the game with 95 per game. And then the passing yards, they're top 10 as well with only 203 yards allowed. They're only giving up 14 points a game, guys. I mean, this is the best defense in football in terms of points per game given up. So this is not a team that lacks depth. They have guys who step right in and they play extraordinarily well. They have Khair Lam, rookie, who's had a pretty solid start to his rookie campaign. This is not going to be an easy one for Zach Wilson, but I'll tell you what, it's a defense that's missing several pieces. And I think ultimately Zach Wilson has the capabilities to blow up and have a fantastic game. He's got extraordinary arm talent. He has good accuracy when he's on. He makes good decisions when he's on. He can move in the pocket. He can run with the football. He can throw the ball downfield. Now, you don't have Corey Davis, obviously, but Garrett Wilson, now is the time to get Elijah Moore, involved, right? Like, if there's anyone that's going to be a catalyst in this game, it's probably going to be 2 players. It's going to be Garrett Wilson, and I need Elijah Moore to step up. That's ultimately the reality. Is like, you don't have Corey Davis. Breece Hall's out for the year. James Robinson is not even close to a Breece Hall replicate. And then, of course, you have Tyler Conklin, who Zach Wilson absolutely loves, at 2 touchdowns last week. But, how important do you think it is that Elijah Moore kind of gets fed a little bit in this game? Without Corey Davis, do you think it's time that he kind of gets fully integrated into this offense and actually utilized?
It's pretty interesting. I think you look at the way things have gone the last 2 weeks with, Corey only playing the first half of the game against the Broncos and Elijah playing a combined 10 snaps over the last 2 games. You've really seen Garrett Wilson, step up and prove to people the potential he's got. And in turn, you've kind of seen some coverage, really shifted his way. And I think from there, if that continues to be the case and if he's, seeing some double teams and whatnot, I think you said it with Elijah Moore, and I would even throw Denzel Mims in that conversation. I think you look at the big play he made in last week's game, like I said, the size and the speed that he offers gives him, a great chance to win one-on-ones. And from there, just, what Mims and Elijah can really do, if Garrett continues to, be a focal point for opposing defenses, both of those guys definitely, at the wide receiver position have got to step up. I think you said it with Tyler Conklin as well. A guy with great route running in hands. He's, caught 3 touchdowns all in the red zone this year. Continue to, look for him over the middle, and he's a security blanket for Zach undoubtedly. And, the Bills defense is really good. Even like I said, and as you just stated, all these injuries that they have, I mean, it's still a really well-coached unit that's got years of experience together. So in that sense, and what they did was fairly simple. So it's tough to play, against them and be successful. But, with those injuries, I mean, there really is no excuse for the Jets. I think you got to be balanced, commit to the ground game for 4 quarters. And, if so, you put Zach Wilson in a position to where he's committing, minimal mistakes. And that's the formula for the Jets. I mean, I think that the defense, while the Bills offense is, a juggernaut and so tough to stop, I think at times the defense can give them some problems, just with the talent that the Jets have as well at the same token. So, I think that the Jets, should be competitive in this game 100%. I think it's definitely, and you've heard Robert Saleh, Jeff Olberg, these people say it this week, it's definitely a great measuring stick to really see where they're at. And, after last week's letdown, you definitely got to step up and rise to the occasion this week.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Bills' offense is ranked 2nd in the league in points per game, and their defense is ranked 1st. This is a Super Bowl contending team, and it's not even a close conversation. If the Jets can knock them off, that's a pretty good indication the Jets are pretty close to being up there too. Like I said, my projection was always that this year was going to be the year they took a big step forward, but they were going to fall just short of the playoffs. Next year was the year they were going to be like actually contending for the playoffs. Now, that entire projection relies heavily on the development of Zach Wilson and if he can be consistent, right? We have not seen consistent Zach Wilson for even a game, let alone half of a game. Like we'll see him be good and then he'll make a stupid decision, throw an interception on a throwaway when he's actually having good. And he's very, okay, so this might be a hot take, but I feel like he's very weak mentally. Like he does one bad thing and it somehow impacts his entire game. He doesn't bounce back from bad decisions, from bad moments very easily. He starts to doubt himself and get frustrated, and then it starts to kind of compound and go downhill from there. So I'd like to see him just shake off bad moments. Every quarterback throws interceptions. They do it in the Super Bowl. They do it in regular season games. It happens. It's football. Mistakes happen. I feel like he puts too much pressure on himself, or he takes it so hard, and then it gets in his head that he might do it again. And then when you're thinking about making a mistake, guarantee you're going to make a mistake. So I'd like to see a little bit more mental fortitude from Zachy going forward here, because ultimately this entire team relies on him unless the Jets have no choice but to go out and sign or trade for a veteran quarterback who's like the last piece to the puzzle. Like they convince Aaron Rodgers to come for like 1 year and just help win the Super Bowl or whatever it might be, get to the postseason. They need Zach to step up. He's the rookie quarterback. He's on the deal. They're making a lot of big money decisions around the fact that they have that rookie window. So it's really all predicated on him. And I'm interested to see if he can kind of step up here and take advantage of a weakened Buffalo Bills defense. But guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas below in the YouTube comments. How do you think the Jets win this game? It's obviously a game that they can win and just have to step up offensively and really just outscore Buffalo. Defense is fantastic, but end of the day, they have a couple key pieces missing. The Jets defense is healthy and ready to go, and they've been just gaining momentum pretty much continuously over the last couple of weeks. So they have an advantage there, but always happy to hear your thoughts and opinions in the YouTube comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Jets episode.